Margaret Whitfield arrived at the emergency room, holding a cookie package tied with a pink ribbon. "My daughter-in-law sent it," she said. "She is such a thoughtful woman. It is her special prescription for pre-wedding stress." "I am Ramona Blackwell. I've been working at this hospital for 17 years. I work in the emergency room and toxicology department. Treating poisoning cases is part of my job." Margaret is a beautiful 68-year-old woman. She complained of blurred vision, but she said everything had been normal just 6 hours earlier. "When did you eat the cookies?" I asked. "I ate 3 at breakfast at 9 a.m. They were delicious." It was now 3 p.m. Her eyes had turned red. Her pupils were dilated. She was pressing her hands against her eyes. It was obvious she was in pain. "Everything looks blurry," she said. "I can't even see your face. Is this normal?" It wasn't normal. It wasn't normal at all. "Mrs. Whitfield, when is your son's wedding?" "Saturday." "So in 3 days. Daniel is very excited. Sophia is a wonderful girl. I am very happy too." I looked at her bag. The pink ribbon was still there. There was a handwritten note on a white card. "Dear mother-in-law, I made these to give you energy during the stressful time before the wedding. My special recipe, love, Sophia." Something stirred inside me at that moment. I've seen a lot in 17 years, but this was different. "Mrs. Whitfield, I need to tell you something. These cookies may have been made for you, but they're not a special recipe." Margaret turned to me. She couldn't see anything anymore. She was completely blind. I am telling you this story because sometimes those closest to us can be the most dangerous. Margaret Whitfield arrived at the emergency room at 2:47 p.m. The ambulance crew brought her in on a stretcher. Paramedic, patient, 68-year-old female, vision loss, nausea, and dizziness. Ate cookies at 9 a.m. Symptoms started at noon. I took her vital signs. Blood pressure 95/60ths, low pulse 110, high rapid breathing, body temperature normal, but her eyes were the center of the problem. "Mrs. Whitfield, can you open your eyes?" When she opened her eyes, her pupils were very dilated. They were slow to react to light. The area around her eyes was red. She looked like she was crying. "I can't see anything," she said. Her voice was trembling. "Everything was fine this morning. Now everything is dark." Dr. Kapoor arrived. He is our toxicology specialist. He has 25 years of experience. He is a doctor with considerable expertise in poisoning cases. "What did she eat?" he asked. "Cookies," I said. "Her daughter-in-law sent them. Homemade. He ate 3 at 9 in the morning." Dr. Kapoor frowned. "Anything else?" "Number just coffee and cookies." "When did the vision loss start?" "Around noon. His vision was blurry at first. By 2 p.m. he was completely blind." Dr. Kapoor looked at me. There was a look in his eyes I recognized. "Suspicion. I want a complete blood count, liver and kidney function tests, arterial blood gas, and a full toxicology panel," he said. I went to the nurse's station. I entered the tests. The lab technician came. He drew blood from Margaret's arm. "What are these for?" Margaret asked. She was scared. I could hear it in her voice. "We're just checking, Mrs. Whitfield," I said. "We need to understand what is wrong with your body. But the wedding is in 3 days. My son Daniel is getting married. I have to be there. Even if I can't see, I have to be there." I held her hand. "You'll get the best care. I promise." 15 minutes later, Dr. Kapoor called me over. He had the lab results in his hand. "Ramona, look at the arterial blood gas. There is metabolic acidosis. The anion gap is high. Poisoning." "Yes? But what kind of poison?" Dr. Kapoor went over to Margaret. "Mrs. Whitfield, how did the cookie taste?" "It was sweet. It had a slightly strange taste. It tasted chemical, but I didn't think about it. I thought maybe it was a new recipe." Dr. Kapoor turned to me. "It could be methanol poisoning, wood alcohol, vision loss, metabolic acidosis. The timeline fits. Was there methanol in the cookie? We'll test it. We'll test both the blood methanol level and the cookie." I took the cookie package out of Margaret's bag. It had a pink ribbon. Inside was a white card. Something was written in handwriting. Dear mother-in-law, for energy during stressful times before the wedding, my special recipe. Love, Sophia. Special recipe. Something was very wrong. My name is Margaret Whitfield. I am 68 years old. I am a retired elementary school teacher. I taught at Riverside Elementary School for 35 years. Second graders were my specialty. I loved teaching those little kids to read. I retired in 2015. My husband Robert died 10 years ago of a heart attack. He died at the table one day while we were having lunch. It was sudden. He didn't suffer. I am thankful for that. Life was hard without Robert. We had been married for 40 years, but my son Daniel was always there for me. Daniel is my everything. He is our only child. After Robert passed away, Daniel would come every weekend. He would do my yard work. He would go shopping with me. He would say, "Mom, you are not alone. I am here." Daniel is 42. He is a successful software engineer. He started his own company. He makes good money, but money was never important to him. He is a good person. He is a lot like Robert. I live a modest life. I have a small house. I grow vegetables in my garden. I have tomatoes and peppers. I get along well with my neighbors. I go to church. I have a book club. I live a simple but happy life. I have money, of course. I saved from my teaching salary. Robert had life insurance. We paid off the mortgage. I have no debt. I have $95,000 saved in the bank. Maybe it is not a lot, but it is enough for me. I will leave that money to Daniel. Daniel didn't marry for many years. He had relationships, but nothing serious. I am waiting for the right person, he would say. I waited too patiently. I dreamed that one day he would marry and give me grandchildren. Last November, Daniel called. He sounded excited. "Mom, I want to introduce you to someone," he said. "Her name is Sophia. She is a wonderful woman." My heart started beating fast. My son had finally met someone. "When will we meet?" I asked. "How about we have lunch together this Sunday? I'll bring her." I couldn't sleep that week. I was so excited. My son's happiness was my happiness. I was curious about Sophia. What kind of woman was she? Could she make Daniel happy? Would she be a good daughter-in-law? On Sunday, I wore my best dress. I made meat, Daniel's favorite dish. I baked an apple pie. I cleaned the house. Everything had to be perfect. When the doorbell rang, I held my breath. I opened the door. Daniel was there. Next to him was a tall, slim, blonde woman. She was very beautiful. She was wearing expensive clothes. Her makeup was perfect. Her hair looked beautiful, too. "Mom, this is Sophia," said Daniel. His eyes were shining. "Hello, Mrs. Whitfield," said Sophia. Her voice was cold. Her smile wasn't sincere either. "Daniel has talked about you a lot." I reached out my hand to her. Her hand was ice cold. From that moment on, I sensed something was wrong, but I ignored it. Maybe she was just shy. Maybe she was nervous, I thought. I couldn't have known then how wrong I was. That first lunch was difficult. We sat down at the table to eat. "I served the food," Daniel said. "Mom, this is great." Sophia just smiled. She took some on her plate but didn't eat it. She just played with her food. "Don't you like it, Sophia?" I asked. "Oh no, it looks delicious. I just don't eat gluten," she said. "I am vegan. I don't eat meat. We should have told you." Daniel hadn't told me. "I am sorry," I said. "I didn't know. I'll make you a salad." "No need. I am fine." But she wasn't fine. It was obvious. She was uncomfortable. She judged me as she looked around my house. She looked around my small house for a long time. She examined my old furniture and the family photos on the wall. "How sincere," he said, but his tone said something else. After dinner, Daniel helped me in the kitchen. Sophia stayed in the living room. She was busy with her phone. "What do you think?" Daniel asked. There was hope in his eyes. "She is a beautiful girl," I said. I didn't want to lie, but I didn't want to upset my son either. "Isn't she? She is very smart, Mom. She graduated from Harvard Business School. Now she works for a consulting firm. She has a great career. Tell me about her family." Her father is a hedge fund manager. They are a very wealthy family. They live in Greenwich, Connecticut. They have a huge mansion, but Sophia isn't flashy at all. She is modest. Modest? I looked at the food she didn't eat, the house she criticized, but I didn't say anything. The weeks after that first date were like a silent war. Daniel didn't come over as often as he used to. When he did come, he had changed. One Sunday morning he stopped by for breakfast. He was wearing a brand name, slim, fit shirt. Daniel liked to dress comfortably. This wasn't him. Sophia bought it, he said, adjusting his shirt. She thinks my style is a bit rustic. She is modernizing me. I smiled, but I was sad. You are beautiful just the way you are, son, I said. Mom, Sophia knows what she is talking about. She is very visionary, he said. His voice was defensive. A week later, they came together. Sophia entered with a box of herbal tea in her hand. Your teas are very commercial, Margaret, she said. This is organic. It comes from Paris. You should drink this. While making tea in the kitchen, she watched my garden. She looked at my tomatoes and peppers with disgust. Why don't you hire a gardener? She asked. I like touching the soil. It is like therapy, I said. Sophia laughed. But it wasn't a cheerful laugh. It was condescending. In our circles, only workers deal with soil, Margaret. Daniel's mother having dirt under her fingernails. How should I put it? It is not very good for Daniel's image. I froze at that moment. In my own home, in my own garden, I was being made to feel like a worker by my son's girlfriend. I looked at Daniel. He was gazing adoringly at Sophia. She was changing not only my son's clothes, but his mind, and I couldn't say anything because I was afraid of losing my son. 3 months later, Daniel called again. Mom, I have great news. What happened? I proposed. Sophia said. Yes, my heart was filled with both joy and anxiety. Congratulations, son. I am so happy. We're having an engagement dinner on Saturday. Sophia's family will be there. You'll be there too, of course. The engagement dinner was held at a luxury restaurant in the heart of Manhattan. The meal cost $200 per person. I had never eaten at a place like this in my life. Sophia's family was there. Her father, Charles Vandermeer, a tall, gray-haired man with a cold stare. Her mother, Patricia, slim, stylish, and with Botox on her face. Her brother, Christopher, a conceited, arrogant person. We sat down at the table. I sat in the corner. I tried to join the conversation, but no one spoke to me. They were all talking amongst themselves. Hedge funds, yacht clubs, vacation homes in the Hamptons. Margaret, what do you do? Charles asked. His tone was rude. I am a retired teacher, I said. I taught elementary school for 35 years. He just said, oh. Then he changed the subject. He acted as if I wasn't there. Patricia looked at me. She was judging my dress. It was my best dress, but next to them, it looked cheap. I knew that throughout the meal. I felt invisible. Daniel tried to talk to me, but Sophia always interrupted. Daniel, Christopher is asking you something, she said. When the meal was over, Charles stood up. He raised his glass. To Daniel and my daughter, a wonderful couple, a perfect match, same social class, same level of education, same goals. Samey social class. The words stabbed me. Daniel spoke too. I want to thank Margaret, my mother. She taught me everything: love, patience, kindness. My eyes filled with tears. My son still saw me, he valued me. But when I looked at Sophia, there was nothing on her face. Just a cold smile. That night, on the way home, Daniel said, Sophia's family is a bit formal, but they're good people. I am sure, I said, but I wasn't sure. We'll start planning the wedding. Sophia wants to get married in June. 6 months from now. I know it is fast, but Sophia is a perfectionist. She wants to plan everything. You'll help, right? Will you assist with the wedding planning? Of course, son. I'll help with anything. But I had a feeling, a bad feeling, as if something was going to go very wrong. I was right. In the months that followed, I saw Sophia's true colors. The first week, Daniel called me to a wedding planning meeting. We met at Sophia's house in Greenwich. The mansion was incredible. 12 bedrooms, a pool, a tennis court, staff gardeners. It was like a hotel. Patricia greeted me. "Margaret, welcome," she said, but her eyes were cold. "The sitting room is this way. Would you please take off your shoes? I don't want the carpets getting Italian dirt on them." I took off my shoes. There was a hole in my socks, I noticed it. Patricia noticed it too. She raised an eyebrow. Sophia and the wedding planner were waiting in the living room. The wedding planner's name was Vivienne. She looked very chic, very expensive. "We're having the wedding at the Plaza Hotel," said Sophia. "There will be 350 guests. A full orchestra, Michelin-starred catering, a Monique Lillier wedding dress, jewelry from the Tiffany collection." My head was spinning. "How much does that cost?" I asked. Vivienne smiled. "About $750,000, but it is worth it because it will be unforgettable." $750,000. I had never seen that much money in my life. "Of course, we're covering most of it," Patricia said, "but traditionally the groom's family covers some of the expenses." They all looked at me. "What kind of expenses?" I asked. "Flowers, drinks. The band total around $85,000. Almost all of my savings, $85,000. "I don't know," I said. "That is a lot of money." Sophia's face turned cold. "Mrs. Whitfield, Daniel is your only son. Don't you want to make his wedding unforgettable?" "I do. My father is spending $600,000. We're only asking for $85,000 from you. Isn't that fair?" Was it fair? I didn't know, but I saw the look in Sophia's eyes. She was judging me. "The poor mother-in-law can't pay," she was saying. "I'll think about it," I said. That night, Daniel called. "Mom, Sophia is very upset. Won't you contribute to the wedding expenses?" "Daniel, $85,000 is a lot of money. That is my entire savings." "I know, Mom, but it is my wedding, my only wedding, and Sophia. Her family is very wealthy. They're spending $600,000. They're only asking $85,000 from us. To them, it is a small amount, but if you don't give it, I'll be embarrassed. My son would be embarrassed." "Okay," I said. "I'll give it." "Really, Mom, you are amazing. I love you so much." I gave her the money. I gave her 90% of my entire savings. I wrote a check. I gave it to Sophia. "Thank you, Margaret," she said. Her smile seemed fake. "That is so generous." But I didn't feel like she was thanking me. She took the check as if it were expected. Over the next few weeks, the wedding planning continued, but I was never included. Sophia made decisions with Patricia. I just gave my approval. The invitations arrived. They were printed in gold foil, very expensive. 350 people were invited. Only 10 people were invited from my side. My friends, my church friends. Sophia had said, "We have to balance the numbers." One day Daniel talked about wedding attire. "Mom, what are you going to wear to the wedding?" "I have a nice blue dress. I bought it last year." Daniel was silent. "Sophia would prefer you to buy something new, please, Mom. It is a special day, and there will be photos." Photos, everything was about photos. I bought a new dress with the rest of my budget, $800. I had never bought such an expensive dress in my life. But I was still worried. Was it enough? Would I embarrass Sophia? Would I embarrass my son? Actually, I had had a worse day before buying that dress. Sophia's mother called me and said, "Let's find something suitable for you. We don't want you to make the wrong choice." They took me to a store in Manhattan with a security guard at the door. When I walked in, I felt invisible. Patricia and Sophia sat me down in a corner while they drank champagne with the store manager. Patricia waved her glass and said, "Show us something that will create a camouflage effect." "Camouflage?" I asked. "Yes, dear," said Patricia. "We don't want you to stand out too much in the photos. Pastel tones, simple, even slightly faded colors. It shouldn't overshadow Sophia's sparkle." The dresses they brought me were awful. They were either too baggy or faded in color. It was as if they were trying to dress me like a maid. "How about this?" asked Sophia, holding a gray sack-like dress. "It is totally your style," understated. I looked at the price tag, $3,000. That is too expensive, I whispered. I can't afford it. Sophia and her mother looked at each other and laughed. I'll never forget that look. It was the poor woman look. It is okay, Daniel will pay, said Sophia. No, I said firmly. I won't make my son pay. I'll buy my own dress. I had to fight back tears as I left. I bought that $800 blue dress with my own money from a place I liked, just to spite them. But when I got home, I looked in the mirror and cried, because no matter what I wore, I knew I would always be inadequate in their eyes. 2 months before the wedding, Sophia invited me to lunch. Daniel isn't coming, she said on the phone. It'll just be the two of us, mother-in-law and daughter. In-law time. I felt hopeful. Maybe Sophia was trying to get closer to me. Maybe I had misunderstood her. We met at a cafe, an expensive place. In Chelsea, there were no prices on the menu. That was always a bad sign. Sophia was late. She kept me waiting for 20 minutes. She didn't apologize. Margaret, I want to tell you something, she said. We're going to talk about the wedding. I am listening. The wedding will be very special. It has to be perfect. Every detail matters. The flowers, the food, the music, and the people. The people? Yes, I am talking about our guests. They need to look good. We'll be taking pictures. Sophia looked at me. Do you understand? Everything has to look perfect. I am doing my best, Sophia. I spent $85,000. I bought a new dress. Yes, thank you. She paused. She was choosing her words. My family is very specific. They have standards, and Daniel is part of our world now. Your world is different. What do you mean? What I mean is you have a humble background that is wonderful. Teaching is a noble profession, but our circle has different expectations. I could hear my heart beating. Sophia, please be clear. I am asking you to keep a low profile at the wedding. Don't talk to too many people. I especially don't want you talking to my father's colleagues, and you shouldn't be in the photos, at least maybe not in some of them? You don't want me in my son's wedding photos. Yes, it would be better if you weren't in some of them. The official photos are very important. They will go to the magazine. They will be shared on social media. Our families need to look balanced. Balanced? Am I unbalanced? No, I didn't say that. You are just different. Am I embarrassing? Sophia was silent. She didn't answer, but her eyes said it all. Yes, you are embarrassing. I got up from the table. I am coming to the wedding, Sophia, and I'll be in all the photos. Because Daniel is my son. I gave birth to him, raised him, loved him. I paid $85,000, and I deserve to be there. Margaret, please sit down. And one more thing, if you tell Daniel this, I'll deny it, because my son loves you. I don't want to break his heart, but remember, a mother always protects her son, always. I left the cafe. I was shaking with anger. When I got home, I cried. I cried for hours, but I didn't tell Daniel. I couldn't. He was happy. He was excited. He was eagerly awaiting his wedding. How could I ruin his happiness? That night I decided I would stay silent. I would ignore Sophia's behavior. I would smile at the wedding. I wouldn't be in the photos. I would be a good mother-in-law. Maybe Sophia would change over time. Maybe she would learn to love me. I didn't know how foolish I was. A week before the wedding, Patricia called. Margaret, there is a rehearsal dinner on Friday, 7 p.m. at the Greenwich Country Club. The invitation is only for family and close friends. I'll be there. And please dress formally. The club is very selective. I would wear the new dress I bought for $800. Was it enough? I didn't know. 5 days before the wedding, a package arrived by courier. It was a white box. There was a very elegant pink ribbon on it. It looked beautiful. I read the card, Dear Mother-in-Law, for energy during these stressful times before the wedding. My special recipe, love, Sophia. I felt a warmth inside. Maybe Sophia was really changing. Maybe she was offering peace. I opened the box. Inside were homemade cookies. There were 12 of them. They smelled wonderful. They smelled of almonds and vanilla that evening, Daniel called. "Mom, did Sophia send you cookies?" "Yes, how thoughtful. They're her special recipe, energy cookies. She made them months ago, froze them. She gave me some too. They're delicious." "That is so sweet. I'll thank her." "We'll be a family," Daniel said. He sounded happy. "All of us, a family." "Yes, son," I said. "We'll be a family." That night I ate one of the cookies. It was delicious. It had a slightly strange taste, but I didn't think anything of it. I ate another one. Then I ate another one. I was very tired from the wedding stress. Sophia and I had been tense. I needed to sleep. I went to bed. Everything changed in the early hours of the morning. I woke up at 9 the next morning. I had a headache, a very bad headache. I went to the kitchen. I made coffee. But I got stomach cramps. I felt nauseous, really severe nausea. I ran to the bathroom. I threw up. I kept throwing up. Maybe food poisoning, I thought. What did I eat yesterday? Just salad and cookies. I had eaten Sophia's cookies. Were the cookies bad? But Daniel had eaten them too. He wasn't sick. Maybe I was allergic to something, almonds. But I had eaten almonds before. There had never been a problem. An hour later, I started feeling dizzy. The room was spinning. I couldn't stand up. I sat down on the floor. The phone rang. It was Daniel calling. "Mom, can you come over for lunch today? We'll go over the final details with Sophia." "Son, I am a little sick. I feel nauseous." "Is it the flu? The wedding is in 5 days. Please rest. You need to get better." "I'll get better. Don't worry." But I didn't get better. At 12 o'clock, my vision blurred. I rubbed my eyes. It didn't help. Do I need glasses? I wondered. But I had glasses. I was wearing them. I called my neighbor Linda. "Linda, I need to go to the eye doctor. Can you take me?" "Of course, Margaret. What happened?" "I don't know. Everything looks blurry." Linda came. She drove me, but on the way, my vision got worse. "Linda, I can't see your face." "What?" "I can't see your face. I just see a blurry shape." Linda sped up. "We're going to the hospital now." "No, let's go to the eye doctor." "We're going to the hospital, Margaret. This is serious." We arrived at the emergency room at 2:47. Linda took me inside. I told the triage nurse everything. The nausea started at 9 this morning, then the headache, then the blurred vision. Now I can't see anything. "What did you eat?" "I only had coffee and cookies. I had cookies last night." "What was in the cookies?" "I don't know, my daughter. In-law sent them homemade. She said it was a special recipe." The nurse frowned. "Please wait." I sat in the waiting room. Linda held my hand. "You'll be okay, Margaret. The doctors will take a look." But I was scared, very scared. I was completely blind. I couldn't see anything. There was only darkness. "The wedding is in 5 days," I said to Linda. "I have to be there, Daniel's wedding." "You will be. You'll be fine." But her voice was worried. I could hear it too. Nurse Ramona came. She took me to the examination room. She took my vital signs. She asked questions. "Mrs. Whitfield, who sent the cookies?" "My daughter. In-law sent them, Sophia." "Was there a note?" "Where is the package?" "At home. A box with a pink ribbon, a white card handwritten." "What did it say?" "Dear Mother, in-law for energy during stressful times before the wedding. My special recipe. Love, Sophia." Ramona wrote something down. "How did the cookie taste?" "Sweet, but it had a slightly chemical taste. It was strange, but I thought it was a new recipe." "A chemical taste?" "Yes, it left a bad taste in my mouth, but I thought it didn't matter." Ramona was silent. Then she said, "I'll call Dr. Kapoor." Dr. Kapoor came. He asked me questions. He took blood. He did tests. "Mrs. Whitfield, you have metabolic acidosis. There may be a toxic substance in your body." "A toxic substance?" "Yes, you were poisoned. There may be poison in the cookie." My heart stopped. Poison? But why would Sophia put poison in it? "We don't know yet, but we'll test it. We'll examine both your blood and the cookie. The cookie is at home. The police will bring it." "Linda, could you please give me your address?" Linda gave the address. The police left. They took the cookie box from the house. I waited. I was blind. I was scared. I was trying to understand. Why would Sophia put poison in it? It didn't make sense. Maybe she mixed something up by mistake. But I had a bad feeling inside. I remembered the way Sophia looked at me, her saying, "Don't be in the photos. Keep yourself in the background." She was ashamed of me, but this was something else. This was intentional. Dr. Kapoor arrived at 5 o'clock. His face was serious. "Mrs. Whitfield, the blood tests are back. The blood methanol level is very high, 85% of a lethal dose. Methanol, wood alcohol, it can be very toxic when ingested. It can cause blindness, organ failure, death. There was methanol in the cookies? The lab is testing now, but based on the blood results, yes, there was methanol in the cookies. But why would Sophia do that? We don't know, Mrs. Whitfield, but the police are investigating. My head was spinning. Did my daughter-in-law poison me, really, Daniel? I said. My son, I need to tell him. The police will inform him. We need to treat you now. Your vision loss may be permanent. We'll start ethanol the 4th and hemodialysis immediately. Ethanol hemodialysis. The words were flying around. Will I go blind? Dr. Kapoor paused. We treated you early. There is a chance, but I can't guarantee anything. I cried, I really cried for the first time. I lived 68 years. I never hurt anyone. I taught children. I helped my neighbors. I loved my son. And now my daughter-in-law was trying to kill me. Because she was ashamed of me. Because she didn't want me in the photos. Because I was poor. I was modest. I wasn't balanced. Why? I shouted. What did I do to her? I just loved my son. I just tried to be a good mother. Ramona held my hand. You did nothing, Mrs. Whitfield. This isn't your fault. It was never your fault. But the pain was still there, the pain of betrayal. I had given everything for my son's happiness. And what did I get in return? Poison. Ramona brought my bag. Mrs. Whitfield, the police took the cookie jar from the house. The lab technicians are examining it, but I want to see the box now. I need to see what the card says. Of course, I couldn't see. I was blind. But Ramona read it aloud. Dear mother-in-law, for energy during stressful times before the wedding, my special recipe, love, Sophia. Special recipe? I said. Yes, it was special. It was methanol. When did the cookies arrive? 5 days before the wedding. On Wednesday, the courier brought them at 3 in the afternoon. What did you think when you opened the box? I was happy. I thought it was an olive branch. Sophia had been cold to me, but when she sent cookies, I thought maybe she was changing. Maybe she was starting to like me. I was so stupid, so naive. How many did you eat? I ate 3, that night at 10 o'clock. 1, then I ate another one. It was delicious. Then one more, Daniel said. It was very tasty. He said Sophia gave him some too. Did Daniel eat some too? Yes, but he didn't get sick. Why? Ramona was silent. Then she said, maybe Daniel's cookies didn't have methanol, only yours did. I slowly understood the truth. Sophia had given Daniel normal cookies. She had given me poison. It was deliberate and planned. Only I was supposed to get sick. Not Daniel. But why? I asked. Why would she want to kill me? Maybe she didn't want to kill you, Ramona said. Maybe she just wanted to make you sick. Make me sick. Why? The wedding was in 5 days. If she made you sick, you wouldn't be able to attend the wedding. There was a moment of silence. Then I understood everything. Sophia didn't want me to come to the wedding. She didn't want me in the photos. Stay in the background, she had said. I refused. I'll be in all the photos, I said. Sophia had found another way. She was going to make me sick. That way, I wouldn't be able to come at all. But methanol is deadly, I said. Sophia miscalculated the amount, Ramona said. She might have looked it up online. How much methanol to make someone mildly ill? But methanol is a lethal substance. Even a small amount can cause serious harm, and it has a very sensitive dosage. The amount given to one person might cause mild illness, while it could kill another. Sophia isn't a doctor, she is not a chemist, she is just a socialite, she miscalculated. So she didn't mean to kill me. Maybe not, but she didn't care. She took a risk, she tried to make you sick. It was that important to her that you didn't come to the wedding. Anger welled up inside me, then pain, then fear. Will I go blind? I asked. Will I be able to see the wedding? Ramona squeezed my hand. We're hoping for the best, we're starting treatment, you have a chance. But I heard the worry in her voice. She returned to the nurse's station. She spoke with Dr. Kapoor. Treatment began. They put an IV in my arm. Ethanol, the antidote for methanol poisoning. A strange thing. They use alcohol to treat alcohol poisoning. Then hemodialysis began. To clean my blood. It took hours. I lay in bed. I was blind. I was scared and in pain. At 8 o'clock, Daniel came running. Mom, what happened? The police called. They said you were poisoned. How were you poisoned? Daniel, how could I tell him? How could I tell him that the woman he loved poisoned me? Mom, please tell me, what did you eat? I ate cookies. Sophia's cookies. Sophia's cookies. She gave me some too. I am fine. Daniel, I said. My voice was shaking. The cookies Sophia sent me, they had methanol in them. There was a long silence. What are you saying, Mom? Methanol, but that is deadly. Yes. It must have been an accident. Sophia would never do such a thing. It wasn't an accident, son. The lab tested it. The cookies were deliberately laced with methanol. It wasn't in your cookies. It was only in mine. Daniel couldn't breathe. No, Mom, Sophia wouldn't do that. She loves you. She sent you cookies because she was thoughtful. Daniel, please listen. No, he shouted. Sophia is a good person. She is my fiancée. She wouldn't try to kill you. But there was doubt in his voice because he knew how Sophia treated me. He knew she was ashamed of me. Do you know what Sophia said to me? She didn't want me in the wedding photos. Keep yourself in the background, she said, because her family was rich and I was poor. She was ashamed of me. Daniel cried. I could hear his voice. My son was crying for the first time as a grown man. Mom, I am sorry. I am so sorry. I didn't know. Sophia never mentioned it. I didn't know she treated you like that. I didn't want you to know. You were happy. You were excited. I didn't want to break your heart. But she broke your heart. She poisoned you. She tried to kill you. I don't think she wanted to kill me. She just wanted to make me sick. I wouldn't have been able to come to the wedding. I wouldn't have been in the photos. The problem would have been solved. Daniel cursed. It was the first time I had ever heard my son curse. I can't marry that monster, he said. Daniel, no, Mom. Nothing will ever happen between you and me. Nothing. No woman, no wedding, nothing. Just then, the sound of heels echoed down the hallway. Those familiar, rhythmic, authoritative heels. The door opened and Sophia burst in. She was wearing a pure white cashmere coat and carrying a huge bouquet of flowers. Her face wore the perfect worried bride expression. Oh my God, she cried, trying to run to the bed. Margaret, my dear, I came as soon as I heard the news. Daniel, why didn't you wait for me? I was so scared. Daniel didn't move, but his body stiffened. He stepped in front of his mother's bed, blocking Sophia's path. Stop, he said. His voice was so cold that the air in the room froze. Don't take another step. Sophia stopped. She put on a bewildered smile. Honey, what is going on? I came, Sophia. I came to see your mother. You came to see my mother, or to check if you finished the job. Sophia's smile faltered. Daniel, what are you talking about? She is like a mother to me, too. I am worried about her. I brought her flowers. Daniel slammed his hand down on the bouquet in Sophia's hands. The flowers scattered on the floor, making a sound like a vase breaking. Don't bring her flowers, Sophia. You should have brought her the antidote. You should have brought her mercy. But what did you bring her? A special prescriptions? Sophia took a step back, her eyes scanned the room. Daniel, I understand you are tense. Wedding stress, your mother is sick. Let's go outside, calm down. She is not sick, Daniel shouted. It was like a lion's roar. She was poisoned, Sophia. She was poisoned because of your damn energy cookies. Methanol, your special ingredient. The innocent mask on Sophia's face cracked instantly. Instead of fear, the anger of a caught criminal appeared in her eyes. You have no proof, she hissed. Her voice was no longer that of a sweet society girl. Do you realize what you are accusing me of? Do you know who my family is? I don't care about your family, Daniel advanced on her. Sophia backed up against the wall. Why were the cookies you gave me different from the ones you gave my mother, Sophia? Why was only she blinded? Why? Cornered Sophia became aggressive. In that moment her true face, that ugly arrogance, emerged. Because she was an obstacle! Sophia screamed. Don't you see, Daniel, that woman doesn't belong in our world at that wedding, with her cheap dress, her trashy attitude. She would have ruined my happiest day, my perfect photos, my friends, my father's partners. Everyone would have laughed at us. Margaret, lying in bed, sat up from the darkness. The photo, she whispered. Her voice trembled but was strong. Did you take my eyes from me just for a photo? Sophia turned back to the bed, disgust in her eyes. Yes, those photos will last forever, Margaret. Were we supposed to publish your miserable image in Vogue magazine? I just wanted you to be sick. I wanted you to stay home. Shut your damn mouth and sit still. If I couldn't control the dose, it is not my fault. It is the fault of your weak old body. Daniel raised his hand as if to strike her, but stopped. Even touching her felt like contamination. He slipped the engagement ring off his finger. He flung that expensive, ostentatious ring at Sophia's feet. Take it, Daniel said. Take that damn ring. Take your perfect world. Get the hell out of here. You can't do this, said Sophia, her voice hysterical. The wedding is in 5 days. The invitations have gone out. My father will destroy you, Daniel. Without me, you are nothing. I am my mother's son, said Daniel, and you are just trash wrapped in an expensive package. Just then, the door opened again. Detective Rodriguez and 2 uniformed police officers entered. They held the door shut. Sophia Vandermeer, said Detective Rodriguez. Sophia looked at the police, then at Daniel. Daniel, tell them something. Say it was a misunderstanding. The detective took out the handcuffs, Miss Vandermeer. You are under arrest for attempted murder. We have your Google searches and your credit card statements showing purchases of industrial chemicals. Sophia screamed as her arms were tied behind her back. It was just for the wedding. It was just to make it perfect. Daniel, don't leave me, as the police dragged her out. Daniel didn't even look back. He returned to the bed, to his mother's side. He held Margaret's hand. She is gone, Mom, he said, tears streaming down his face. The darkness is gone. Margaret touched her son's face, which she couldn't see. You are here, she said. You are my light. Mr. Whitfield, I need to talk to you. We're going to talk about your fiancée, Sophia Vandermeer. The police detective was Rodriguez. He had a calm voice. He was professional. Mrs. Whitfield, can you tell me when the symptoms started after you ate the cookie? I told him again. Every detail, because it was important, because they were gathering evidence. Detective Rodriguez was writing. He was taking notes on everything. I said food poisoning. Maybe the salad was bad, or the cookie. I called my neighbor Linda, I said. I need to go to the eye doctor. Because at that point, my vision was starting to blur. Detective Rodriguez looked up. Mrs. Whitfield, we looked at Sophia's Google history. There is a search record. What did she search for? Methanol poisoning symptoms. How much methanol causes illness? Methanol in food detection. How to make someone sick without killing them. My breath caught. When did she search? 2 weeks ago, 19 days before the wedding. She planned it. She prepared it. She prepared poison, specifically for you. Dr. Kapoor entered my room. The eye doctor was with him. Doctor Who, he was a vision loss specialist. "Mrs. Whitfield, I am going to examine your eyes," Doctor Who said. "We're checking for optic nerve damage." "The optic nerve?" "The eye nerve. Methanol particularly damages the optic nerves. That is why you are losing your vision." He held a lighted device up to my eyes. I couldn't see, but I could feel the light. "The pupils are reactive but slow," said Doctor Who. "I am going to do a fundoscopy. I need to see the retina." Then Doctor Who sighed. "There is optic nerve edema, swelling and petechiae on the retina's small hemorrhages, consistent with methanol poisoning. Will she recover?" asked Daniel. He was still there holding my hand. "Uncertain methanol-induced vision loss is sometimes temporary, sometimes permanent. Early treatment improves the chances. We're giving your mother ethanol and hemodialysis. We may see improvement in her vision within 24 hours, or we may not. Permanent blindness. The rest of my life in darkness, 68 years old. I won't see my son's face again. I won't see the tomatoes in my garden. I won't see the sunset." "Why?" I asked. I wasn't asking anyone. I was asking myself, for the photos? Just so I wouldn't be in the wedding photos? Daniel was crying. "Mom, I am so sorry. I shouldn't have introduced you to Sophia." "No, son, you didn't know Sophia. She was nice to you. She only showed her true face to me." "But there were signs, weren't there? How she talked to you, her family's behavior. I didn't want to see it because I was happy. I was blind." "You weren't blind, you were in love." "I fell in love with the wrong person." Daniel sank down on the edge of my bed. He rested his head on my knees, just like he did when he was a child. I could feel the warmth of his tears on my hands. "It is my fault," he said, sobbing. "That day at dinner, when she belittled your home, I should have silenced her. Mom, when she criticized your clothes, I should have kicked her out. But I didn't, because—" He paused. He was trying to breathe. "Because what, son?" "Because I was also captivated by his glittering world, Mom. I am ashamed, but I'll say it. His rich life, those luxury cars, those parties. For a moment, I also saw your life as small. I was ready to leave you behind to enter that magical world." This confession burned me more than poison. "But my son was honest." "But now," Daniel said, his voice hardening. He raised his head. "Now I see the rot beneath that glitter. The peace in your small house is greater than all their wealth, Mom. That woman isn't even worth your toenail, and I swear she'll pay for this. She'll regret this for the rest of her life for putting you through this." I squeezed my son's hand. The old Daniel was back, but the price had been too high. The door opened. Detective Rodriguez came back in. "Mr. Whitfield, we questioned Sophia." Daniel stood up. "What did she say?" "She denied it at first. I would never do such a thing," she said, "but when we showed her Google history, she broke down." "Did she confess?" "Yes, she told us everything." Everyone in the room fell silent. We waited. Sophia said, "I love my mother-in-law, but I didn't want her to come to the wedding. My family is very wealthy. Margaret is modest. We would look mismatched in the photos. On Instagram, in magazines everywhere, people would judge Daniel's mother wasn't suitable." The words stung. She continued, "I wanted her to be mildly ill, like the flu. That way she couldn't come to the wedding, we'd say. Mom's sick, she couldn't come. Problem solved. I researched it online. Methanol causes nausea and headaches in small doses. I calculated the amount, 5 ml in 3 cookies. It would be mild, but 5 ml is a lethal dose," said Dr. Kapoor. 15 ml of methanol in 3 cookies. It could have killed Mrs. Whitfield. Detective Rodriguez shook his head. "Sophia doesn't know chemistry. I didn't mean to kill her," she cried. "I just wanted her to be a little sick. That is what it said on Google. Did I read it wrong? Or I didn't care. I just didn't want her at the wedding. That is how important it was." Daniel breathed in angrily. "She risked my mother's life for perfect wedding photos?" "Yes. And then she said, I didn't put methanol in Daniel's cookies. Only Margaret's if Daniel got sick, There would be no wedding. Only the mother-in-law should get sick. It was planned. Everything was planned. She researched it 2 weeks ago. She bought methanol. They didn't know where she got it yet, but they would find out. She baked cookies. She added poison. She gave Daniel normal cookies. She sent me death cookies. And she wrote a thoughtful note. Dear mother-in-law, with love. That night I was alone in the hospital. Daniel had to go home. He had to give a statement to the police. I lay in bed, in the dark. But this darkness was different. It wasn't the darkness I saw when I closed my eyes. This was real darkness, permanent, no escape. I touched my face. My eyes were there. They were open, but they saw nothing. I waved my finger in front of my eyes. Nothing. No movement. No shadow. No light. I was completely blind. There are no words to describe the fear I felt in that moment. Your eyes are open, but the world is gone. It was as if someone had unplugged the television. The image was gone, but the sounds didn't stop. In fact, the sounds started to feel even more frightening. Footsteps in the hallway, the rhythmic beep of machines, a siren in the distance, every sound echoed in my brain. And my memory, that is what I feared most. I was afraid of forgetting Daniel's face. I started talking to myself in the darkness. Margaret, remember the red of tomatoes. Remember the blue of the sky. Remember the lines around Daniel's eyes when he smiles. But the more I remembered, the more I wanted to cry. I would never find my way home again. I wouldn't be able to read books. I wouldn't even be able to go to the bathroom without someone's help. Sophia hadn't just stolen my wedding from me. She had stolen my independence, my dignity, my life. I felt helpless, like a baby. My 68 years of accumulation, my experience, everything had vanished in that darkness. God, I whispered, take my life, but don't take my eyes. I don't want to be a burden to anyone. For the first time, I truly panicked. I couldn't breathe. My heart was racing. My chest felt tight. Help! I screamed. I can't breathe! The nurse rushed over. Ramona came. Mrs. Whitfield, calm down. You are having a panic attack. Take deep breaths. I can't see. I can't see anything. I know. But treatment has started. You have a chance. What if I don't get better? What if I never see again? Ramona held my hand. Then you'll adapt, people adapt. But don't think about that now. Just breathe now. Focus on getting better. But how can you focus? How can you be positive when your whole world is gone? I saw for 68 years. I saw everything spring flowers, sunsets, my son's face, my husband's smile. My students' happy eyes. No, none of that was there. There was only darkness. What about the wedding? I asked. The wedding is off, Ramona said. Sophia's been arrested. Attempted murder. Attempted murder. My daughter-in-law tried to kill me. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. What will I tell Daniel? He loved Sophia. Daniel loves his mother. He chose you, not Sophia. But I took away his happiness. I ruined the wedding. No, Ramona raised her voice. You did nothing. Sophia did it. Sophia chose. Sophia put the poison. It is her fault. Only hers. I knew it with my mind. But my heart still felt guilty. The night dragged on. I couldn't sleep. I had nightmares. I saw Sophia's face, but then her face blurred. She disappeared because I couldn't see anymore. In the morning, Dr. Kapoor came. Mrs. Whitfield, your blood methanol levels are dropping. That is a good sign. The treatment is working. But I can't see. It is still early. Vision recovery from methanol poisoning can take 24 to 72 hours. You have to be patient. I'd been patient for 68 years. But this was different. Daniel came in the afternoon. Mom, we have a lawyer. We're suing Sophia. Both criminal and civil cases. I don't want to. Daniel, I just want to get better. I am tired of lawsuits and courts. But you deserve justice. Sophia is in jail. The wedding is off. You are safe. That is enough for me. But it wasn't enough, because I was still blind. Doctor Who came back. He examined my eyes. The swelling is going down, but we don't know the full extent of the damage yet. What are the odds of recovery? He paused. Then he was honest. The chance of full recovery from methanol blindness is 50%. Partial recovery is 30%. Permanent blindness is 20%. 20%, 1 in 5, my whole life in darkness. And which category was I in? It is still early, but early treatment is in your favor. Your chances are higher than average. Hope, a small hope. But even that small hope was something. The night was difficult again. But this time I panicked less. The hemodialysis was continuing. The ethanol, the fourth, was continuing. My body was being cleansed of methanol. And I prayed more than I had in many years. God, if I have a chance, I want to see my son's face one more time. Just once. After that, I'll accept anything. The next morning, I felt something. Light, very little, very blurry, but it was there. On the fourth day, Margaret's vision improved. I see shadows, she said. I can see people moving. Doctor Who was excited. The optic nerve is healing. That is a good sign. Keep up the treatment. A week later, Margaret could see faces. Blurry, but she could see them. Daniel, I can see your face, she cried. Daniel cried too. Mom, your eyes are open. You can see me. Yes, son, I can see you. That moment made it all worth it. All the stress, all the hours, all the effort. Margaret was getting better. 2 weeks later, Margaret was discharged. Her vision was back to 80%. Not perfect, but functional. She could read, she could walk, she could live independently. Ramona, she said as she was discharged, you are my angel. You saved me. No, Mrs. Whitfield, the system saved you. I am just part of the system. But you started it. You found the cookie. You suspected. You called the police. You coordinated everything. 17 years of experience, I said. Pattern recognition. Knowing it wasn't coincidence and fighting for justice. Margaret hugged me. Thank you for my life. I couldn't hold back my tears. I've seen many cases in 17 years. But this case was very special. Because Margaret wasn't just sick. She was a victim of family betrayal, and I brought her justice. That is why I do this job. The day before the sentencing hearing, the tension in the courtroom was at its peak. The prosecutor displayed messages on the screen that had been deleted from Sophia's phone but recovered by the cybercrime unit. Sophia had sent a message to her mother, Patricia, the evening she poisoned me. The screen read, "The problem is solved, Mom. I don't think we'll see that tacky old woman in the crowd on Saturday. Our photos will be perfect." A murmur rippled through the courtroom. Sophia's mask fell, the one she'd been wearing while crying. I am innocent, it was just an accident. I could see the disgust on the faces of the jury members. She wasn't a bewildered bride who had miscalculated. She was a cold-blooded narcissist. When Daniel took the witness stand, Sophia looked at him hopefully. She still thought she could manipulate him. "Daniel," Sophia whispered, "please save us." Daniel looked into Sophia's eyes. His voice was ice cold. "I loved you, Sophia. I wanted to build a life with you, grow old with you. But you tried to sacrifice the woman I gave my life to, my mother, for an Instagram photo." "I just wanted it to be perfect," Sophia shouted, losing control. Daniel's response echoed in the courtroom. "Is this perfection? Blinding a mother? You didn't want a perfect wedding. You wanted a perfect lie. And in that lie there is no place for me or my mother. You are my biggest mistake." Sophia collapsed in that moment. She realized then that Daniel was no longer her toy, that she had lost him. The judge read the verdict. "Sophia Vandermeer, you are found guilty of attempted murder in the first degree. You are found guilty of aggravated assault. You are found guilty of poisoning with intent to cause serious bodily harm." Sophia's face drained. Her mother Patricia cried. Her father Charles looked angry. 18 years in prison, no parole for the first 12 years. You will pay $50,000 in damages to Margaret Whitfield as ordered by the court, and you will return the $85,000 wedding money. A total of $135,000. Margaret was getting back everything she had lost. Also, said the judge, a lifetime restraining order prohibiting you from approaching Mrs. Whitfield within 500 meters after release. The gavel fell. The trial is adjourned. Margaret took a deep breath. It is over, she said. It is really over. Daniel hugged his mother. Mom, you won. Justice has been served. Sophia looked at me as she was led away. There was regret in her eyes. But it was too late. Much too late. Outside the courtroom, reporters were waiting. Mrs. Whitfield, how do you feel? Margaret spoke into the microphone. Her voice was strong. 18 months ago, my daughter-in-law tried to kill me. She sent me cookies, but they were laced with poison. Methanol. I went blind. I almost died. The reporters listened, silently. Today, justice has been served. Sophia will spend 18 years in prison. I, on the other hand, am alive. I can see. I am with my son. And I am safe. Do you have a message for Sophia? Margaret paused. She thought, then she spoke. Sophia, you wanted the perfect wedding. Instagram photos, the wealthy look. And I, the humble mother-in-law, was ruining your plans. But remember, photos are temporary. Family is permanent. You chose the photos, you lost your family. Then she turned. She and Daniel walked away together. That evening, Daniel gave Margaret a new home as a gift, in a safe neighborhood with a security system. Mom, don't worry anymore. I am here, I'll always be here. Margaret cried, tears of happiness. I know, son, you've always been here. And I went back to the hospital because there were other cases, other Margarets, other injustices, but I will never forget this case. Because the bride poisoned her mother-in-law for the wedding photos and the system worked, justice was served. Margaret recovered. Her sight returned. Her life returned. Sophia will spend 18 years in prison thinking about the price of perfect wedding photos. I am Ramona Blackwell. I've been working in the emergency room and toxicology for 17 years. The Margaret Whitfield case was the most shocking case of my career. The bride poisoned her mother-in-law for the wedding photos with methanol cookies, but this wasn't the first case. Bride, mother-in-law animosity is real, very real. Tomorrow I'll tell you another story, the story of a bride who kept her mother-in-law in a wheelchair for the wedding photos, with drugs. Intentionally. These stories are horrific, but true. And you, my request to you, watch your family, because sometimes those closest to us can be the most dangerous. Share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe and stay safe.